Dog versus Monsanto, another Warrior Mirror, but this one's a Bomb Warrior Mirror.
Yeah.
Anticipate to be a lot quicker, at least for compared to the previous game. Dog has the tech for the Warrior Mirror with the Barista Lynchin and Geppetto Joybuzz, and then his tertiary deck is teched for what looks like to be Mage. Monsanto, on the other hand, has Anti-Mage on the secondary with Big Game Hunter, Brawl Super Collider, and then for his tertiary, he's got like an EMP operative with Karen Bloodhub, which is pretty interesting because it feels like it's a good way to respond to other people's mech pushes with War Gear, but also develop his own game plan with Karen Bloodhoof and Omega Devastator.
Yeah, it's very interesting tech, and I haven't thought about it in the context of Bomb Warrior Mirrors. But if you look at what usually happens where you lose tempo is a big mech sticks on the board that's magnetized and you can't deal with it. So EMP Operative honestly could make some difference in that second or third game once we get to that stage. Another thing to note, as you just saw from Dog's deck, is he does have a couple of different techs. One less Warpath, which is kind of a dead card in the matchup. Has a Weapons Project in the deck, which could be useful for getting rid of Wrench Calibers. But also a Super Collider, which in itself is not super useful against Warrior. So in Dog and Frozen's practice or their prep this week, it seemed like they were trying to make their primary deck to be decent against everything. But I think that the just kind of straightforward, Bomb Warrior deck of Monsanto may have a slight advantage because of Dog having a couple more dead cards in the matchup. We'll see, though. It's very similar nonetheless. It's only 4 cards different no matter, or 4 or 5 cards different no matter which way you slice it. So, excited for it.
Sounds good. I want to see the EMP operatives come into play here, but I'm not sure how much it'll come to be a factor for the series. But I have to imagine that mechs, the way they swing back and forth and the way they're used against the Warrior class, it might be a lot better than we anticipated. And it's funny because when EMP Operative was announced and even released with the Boomsday project, people were saying, wow, this is like a card that is supposed to hate mechs, but will it ever see any play? And it really didn't. And it wasn't until Specialist where Operative finally was able to see its time in the sun.
Yeah, we saw it. Quite a few players actually brought it in the Masters Tour at Las Vegas to have a potential counter in their Specialist lineup for Mech Paladin. Which turned out, even in like one of the first matches that we watched on stream was Mech Paladin versus Warrior, and the Mech Paladin, the Warrior was able to take the games 2 and 3. So very interesting stuff. But let's get into it. Game 1, Monsanto versus Dog. Bomb Warrior versus Bomb Warrior. First place versus second place.
First place versus second place. In Division B, both these players will be going to the playoffs, but I don't believe they'll be playing each other. Dog with the first seed guaranteed spot means that he will be advancing 1 round deeper than everyone else. Monsanto thinking about what 1-drop he wants to play in this position. There is merit to the Eternium Rover, given that it fights better on the board versus the 1-2. And Town Crier, it's not like you can really even capitalize on the rush just yet. The other side of it is that Town Crier gets the card that you would have drawn otherwise, right?
Yeah.
Also, this is something that I wonder if it ends up becoming the case. I don't think I've ever heard clarification of it, but when it tutors something very specific, it's implied that the deck is shuffled afterwards, right?
I don't know.
Usually when you, in physical card games, like, in like the World of Warcraft TGC, for example, if you draw a card that's directly tutored from it, and when we say tutor, it means to search for a specific card, such as Town Crier, which is searching for a rush card. You look through your deck or your library, right? And you pull that card and put it to your hand, but since you know the order of the card, you usually shuffle your deck.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of implied that in Hearthstone it happens the same way.
Yeah, I feel like it's irrelevant, though, just for the fact that you don't look at your deck when you're tuning your specific card out.
Right. It effectively doesn't matter in a game like Hearthstone, but
it'd be cool though.
In physical card games, it's very much a thing.
If there was a skill testing mechanic involved with tutor cards like Town Crier, where you pulled the card out of the spot in your deck visually that it was actually in.
Right. I mean, there could be like mechanics. Like, I know like other games, for example, say like if the top card of your deck is a mech, gain +1 attack, right?
Yeah.
So in this case, Monsanto would be able to know, but if he drew like a rush minion from it, then would that card actually still be there on the top? And that's kind of what I'm asking.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be, because I do think that Hearthstone tries really hard to replicate the physical feeling of stuff. And whenever like a bomb is shuffled into the deck does shuffle, indeed.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something curious and interesting. At least interesting enough to talk about in the early stages of a Bomb Warrior.
Yes.
Monsanto at this point just taking it kind of slow, while Dog, his game plan is pretty straightforward. He's got Blastmaster Boom in hand, got Wrench Caliber, picks up one more bomb, and he's got a fully loaded Blastmaster ready to go. And Monsanto doesn't have too much to do, because right now all of his cards are reactive. In fact, all of his cards don't have anything to do proactively in this position.
Really, the only one is Shield Block, but it's not doing anything proactive on the board. It's just cycling through the deck.
Yeah, I mean, he could play Militia Commander just to have some semblance of board position, but I think he'd rather have a reactive hand than to whatever Dog does. Now, we talked a little bit about Dog's deck list, how it has a jack-of-all-trades approach. DJ, you said he has like 8 singletons that aren't legendaries. If you count as legendaries, there's like 13 or 14. Something similar to that. So like basically half of Dog's deck are single copies of cards.
Yep. 14 copies are single copies, or 14 cards are single copies, including legendaries. Yeah, and 8 without. So, and a lot of tools that you wouldn't necessarily think would be cut from Bomb Warrior or included in Bomb Warrior. Like a Warpath cut. That card, I don't know the last time I saw a Warpath cut in a primary deck. And Super Collider, which, because of how many weapons, because of like Wrench Calibers and things like that, outside of secondary, tertiary decks, again, for specialists, it's rare that you see Super Colliders.
Yeah. I like this pass from both sides here. Monsanto's like, well, I have a reactive hand. I'm not going to play anything into Dog. But then Dog's like, well, all of a sudden my hand became reactive, and I'm going to play Blastmaster Boom, but if I play Omega Devastator, I'm giving him a reason to like use Militia Commander into that. So he's going to save it. And then Monsanto, his play is either to ditch a coin or throw a Clockwork Goblin, or perhaps maybe just Militia Commander and Hero Power so he can offset some of that damage. I do think that holding onto the coin had merit up until this point, because he could have coined out Dr. Boom. Not going to really be the case here, though.
No, nothing feels super great to just throw away. Militia Commander is important for fighting for tempo, even later on in the game. So I think Clockwork Goblin is the card that you're most willing to depart with, even though it dies to Wrench Caliber.
Yeah. Alright, Dog gonna take the Blastmaster approach. Knows that Brawl or Shield Slam is a possibility, but you get the early damage advantage this way. The life total difference was purely made up from Monsanto's shield blocks, too.
Very weird hand.
It's a weird hand, for sure.
Just like every removal card being drawn first, or every, like you mentioned, reactive card being drawn first. Like no Snip Snap, 1 Clockwork Goblin, no Wrench Caliber, no Omega Devastator.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if Monsanto here wants to use Warpath instead of the Brawl, because he did draw Acolyte, and he could Shield Slam the 7/7. He'd probably want to Shield Slam first, then Acolyte, then Warpath twice if he wants to draw cards, and then get ahead of his opponent that way. I do think that because they both have Elysiana, though, that he might be factoring the fatigue of not drawing too much, because if he draws like 5 or 6 cards deeper, then Dog's like, okay, I'm just going to actually just play really slow now. Looks like he is going for it, though.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly, it's pretty good, too, because it offsets bomb damage.
Yeah, and also he needs to, find a situation where he has something to play on board and not just react to everything Dog does. So.
8 damage absorbed. Oh my goodness. So out of the 16 possible damage, Dog did 15. but 8 of it went into minions. Dog has the opportunity to draw with Harrison Jones and Weapons Project in this position. He'd be okay on the hand side. And in his mind, it's a rush to the Dr. Boom Mad Genius, I think.
Yeah, and he can feel free to draw cards because of the fact that Monsanto just drew cards.
Yeah, I think it's a card drawing matchup. I think a lot of people are risk averse, right? They like, oh, I don't want to draw cards because I'm going to draw bombs.
Yeah.
I don't want to draw cards because I'm going to lose the fatigue. As you can tell, a lot of times with Bomb Warrior, over the course of the 7 weeks we've been broadcasting these, because we've broadcasted a lot of Bomb Warrior games.
Oh, yeah.
That fatigue doesn't happen very often. It's actually more of a rare occurrence.
Yeah. In Bomb Warrior mirrors specifically.
I wonder.
Yes. So far, in Bomb Warrior games alone, I believe, if my spreadsheet is correct, we've casted 92 games of it.
What?
And that's, yeah, 92 appearances in Bomb Warrior. It's the most represented deck in Hearthstone Grandmasters, followed by second, which is Cyclone Mage at 77. Third with the Burgle Rogue, but if you kind of combine Burgle with Tempo Rogue, it's at 70. What do you think is the 4th most popular deck? That isn't Warrior, Rogue, and Mage.
Hunter.
It is Hunter at 30. So there you go.
That's
data.
So that's like, I don't know. What's the average Bomb Warrior game like 30 minutes?
So if we divide it across the weeks, on average, we do about 12, 13 Warrior matchups a week.
We've sank very many hours.
Specifically, Asia Pacific's had 25, Europe's had 26, and America's had 41 Bomb Warrior matchups.
Nice. We win. Or
America's
we lose
number one.
ultimately.
Look, when it comes to America and apparently bombing, we're number one here.
Specifically in Hearthstone. No political commentary from us.
Well, it was just a 4th of July joke, but I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Wonder.
Snip Snap coming down for 9 mana would be really effective here. Dog doesn't have the Warpath to easily clear it. Dog's actually fallen really far behind on both with this play.
Yeah.
It's very hard to take apart all of these Snip Snaps. The general rule, though, is the 4-6-2-3 split.
Less vulnerable to Devastator.
What a draw.
Oh, Warpath. Perfect.
What a draw. Does he want to use anything besides his Warpath?
I don't think so.
Is this a battle of resources now instead of a battle of tempo?
What now?
So if he uses the Shield Slam, he Warpaths
4 times.
Or we can attack with the weapon once, so he only has to do it 1 more time. Oh, he wants to Acolyte too. Okay.
So this play uses a Shield Slam as a resource in order to save the weapon charge and save 4 damage on his face. I don't know if that's worth it.
When I trade 4 life and a weapon swing
And a Weapons Project swing with a Wrench Caliber in hand.
for a Shield Slam,
I don't think so.
is he freeing up hand space?
Maybe, but for what? Acolyte, I guess?
I'm not sure, man.
I mean, maybe the 4 life does matter to him. Maybe he thinks that this game is... that life is a more valuable resource than cards. It's hard to get into his mind. You want to go run to his house and ask him?
I'm good.
Where's Dog live? Texas? It's a 3-day drive.
I believe so. He also lives in Las Vegas from time to time.
right, that's a 4-hour drive, 5-hour drive.
4-hour drive. Well, Dog could take this opportunity to set up more bombs in the deck. His opponent's holding 9 cards, so it's still relatively safe. I think one thing he's considering too is like his opponent just set up Weapons Project. Is his opponent going for this giant Clockwork Goblin augmented Elix setup? When your opponent plays Wrench Caliber and passes, makes you feel like they're setting themselves up for a big bomb.
What now?
Yeah, it's a pretty safe play for Monsanto because he saw both weapon removals in one fell swoop from Dog, where he played his own Weapons Project plus Harrison Jones. So he can try and squeeze as much value as possible out of his Wrench Caliber by just equipping it now and waiting.
Somebody order a bomb.
So with this, 4 bombs have been shuffled into the deck on Monsanto's side. 1 bomb being drawn. Dr. Boom Mad Genius comes in the hand. It's
Ooh.
really big for Monsanto. Looks like he prioritizes shutting down the weapon first, just because it offsets damage. I think there's a lot of merit just playing Dr. Boom though, and just shutting down the 3/3. But I think maybe Monsanto feels like he gains life equivalent anyways. Oh gosh, another bomb.
Can save some life here with Militia Commander though.
Defend the gates.
But unfortunately for Monsanto is that it's unlikely, because he has not drawn his Elysiana yet, that he'll be able to discard any bombs or get rid of any bombs with Artemis Elysiana.
Let the pain speak to me.
Light the fuses.
Dog going for the card draw with Dynamatic.
Needs to find Dr.
Whoa.
Boom.
He gets 3 hits, or 3 cards off the Acolyte, almost guaranteed here. All the bombs are being drawn. Monsanto only has 1 more bomb in the deck.
Yep, and
Wait,
now he has no bombs.
Do you have
left
any
in the
bombs
deck.
in the deck anymore? Nope.
So fatigue, both players have been drawing aggressively enough, and the fatigue is pretty even at this point. Monsanto has 7 cards left in the deck, no bombs. Dog has 10 cards left in the deck, 2 bombs, so essentially 8 warrior cards left. Monsanto has shown Dr. Boom Genius, but hasn't been able to get any value from it, and Dogs is still in his deck. So I think overall it's a pretty even game state here, with Dog having a life advantage, but Monsanto having a number of bomb cards advantage still left in his deck. So this could come down to that quality of Elysiana and the tempo post Elysiana. Delivery Zone, if he plays Delivery Zone, he would have to pick up a 1-mana mech in order to play it. So just throws away a Warpath in order to get clean up this board state a bit. Wow, still a Rush Mania left in Dog's deck. He's running out of cards real quick, but he needs to find Dr. Boom Mad Genius.
Yeah, trying to catch up there. Still shuffling 2 more bombs though. Just kind of keeping up the pressure.
Yep.
Monsanto doesn't want to play Elysiana just yet.
Could play the Boom Reaver. Not too much big stuff left in his deck.
Okay, then.
Actually, no real big stuff left in his deck, to be honest.
Does he have Blastmaster Boom in the deck? I believe so.
Oh yeah, he does have Blastmaster Boom left in the deck.
Okay, then.
With 2 Omega Devastators in hand plus an Omega Assembly, I think Monsanto realizes that he does need to dump cards, and the Boom Reaver means that he can't play the Blast Shield to get that additional armor. Blastmaster Boom? Or, sorry, Dr. Boom Mad Genius? How about a bomb?
Some good damage right now.
How about another bomb?
Hey.
I'm so
Delivery drone right off the bat. Finds a Mega Devastator. Can rush and cut off this 4-2. Dog is back in the game, although a little scary. Monsanto does have 2 bombs left in his 8 remaining cards. So Dog's 1 card deeper.
Clockwork Goblin.
Yep, doesn't get the Blastmaster Boom.
If only Omega Devastator could go face.
Pretty sick. 4-mana Pyroblast.
With a body.
Blastmaster Boom finds its way into the hand for Monsanto. Finally, Dog has 2 bombs in the deck.
Can shuffle the 3rd with this Wrench Caliber swing. It would be playing directly into Kaboom. That's one of the downsides, especially since Dog has already used the only copy of Warpath. He does have Brawl,
This would be a good time for a master plan.
so I guess you could assume either way that it'd be dealt with, but Kaboom is the most obvious one because it's staring you in the face.
Yeah, I think chances are with 2 bombs in the deck, that Dog has all the removal he wants to take down Blastmaster Boom. It's all about like what he wants to see afterwards. If you play Blastmaster Boom, you force a response out of your opponent, and if they brawl, it takes 5 of their mana, which means that you can chain tempo them.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing is exactly what you're talking about. Kaboom makes it easier for Dog to deal with Blastmaster Boom very efficiently with mana. That being said, still think that it's the best course of action for Monsanto to go for it. I think a lot of people are afraid of like, well, they're just going to get like the optimal removal. They get to deal with everything.
Ooh. These boom bots have been quite large.
Yeah, large and in charge. 7 damage to the face.
Whoa.
I mean, 3 out of 4 cards in his deck are bombs.
Yeah. So he'd be giving up,
This story deserves a new ending.
what would he be giving up?
Stone Dust Boar. All right, Deranged Doctor is a very interesting card, and I think it's very fitting that Dog picks it. Reckless Rocketeer.
Hakar the Soul Flare.
Uh,
That one's too risky,
maybe
especially since
Hogger actually has.
yeah, I think Hogger, because he's playing Elysiana first, so Hakar is more likely to punish him than it is to punish his opponent.
The Worst on Commander Reckless Rocketeer synergy. Black Howl Gunspire is not really anything. I guess SI7 Infiltrator.
Yeah, SI7 Infiltrator. Obviously, the battle cry does nothing, but a 4-mana 5/4 is actually decent.
Wait, Black Howl Gunspire plus Dynamatic.
Oh, it's not a mech,
It's not a mech.
which is weird because it's a Gunspire, but nah, he picked Deranged Doctor, Hogger, Emberscale Drake, Potion Vendor, and SI7 Infiltrator.
Potion Vendor is definitely very interesting.
He didn't really have any other great options in that round of picks. He had the Warsong Commander and the Rocket Boots.
Right.
I still think I'd pick Warsong Commander over that, even if you don't have any charge minions, just because the 2/3
This would be a good
maybe
time
mana
for a
efficiency,
master
but at that point,
plan.
you're usually going to be floating mana anyway.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe for Hogger, just to protect Hogger as long as possible. Like if your opponent wants to kaboom and set up for a zap or something along those lines. I don't know.
All fair points to make. Monsanto kind of has a bunch of garbage. Turnium Rover, Galvanizer, Harvest Golem. Those are like good tools and like a mech paladin deck. to get early game snowball, but nothing really much here.
But I mean, they're annoying minions to place on the board. Wow, every single Boombot in this game has dealt at least 3 damage. On both sides.
It's very powerful.
Yeah.
I think Dog trying to find his way out of this situation.
Not looking great though. He does not have tempo and has played Elysiana first. He also, because of the way he's built his deck, does not have Omega assemblies in his primary deck where Monsanto does. So Monsanto has health advantage, tempo advantage, fatigue advantage, and resource advantage. Which means he's quite favored.
Yeah, he got tempo advantage because he played that Galvanizer. Look how cheap his mechs are, dude.
Wow!
2 mana Alarmabot? I somewhat unironically think that Alarmabot at 2 mana would be pretty playable. Because you could maybe cheese with some really stupid decks. Like, think if you're able to play like big Paladin or something like that, and you just like...
Why can't you play it at 3 mana?
Well, because 2 mana is just much faster. You can coin it out on the first turn and pull out a big thing.
Okay, I can see it.
It's the difference between like 3 mana and 2 mana is unbelievably massive. Look at like Flame Tongue Totem. It's still a really good card, just costs too much.
Sure. I think this meta currently is the meta with like almost the least amount of 1-drops that we've ever seen.
Look at Wild Growth, 2 to 3 mana.
Well,
you don't play 1-drops in an Alarmabot deck, TJ.
No, I'm saying like 1-drops to challenge an Alarmabot are...
Yeah, Town Crier, Eternium Rover. No one's like playing Flame Imp. There's Zoo Warlocks, but they're almost extinct at this point, at least in competitive play.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying it's good. I'm just making conversation.
No, you're saying it's good.
Where's my Alarmabot gang?
Most likely going to force a brawl out here for Dog, and yep, he's already mousing over it.
Yeah, I think he's going to deal with it. Brawl's hard to get value off when your opponent's playing 1 or 2 threats instead. How much are these Boombots going to deal? 4. Oh my goodness.
Every single palm has dealt at least 3 damage this game. That's insane.
It's very insane.
Ooh, Boomhammer can actually pull out Hogger.
That'd be cool.
That'd be really cool.
And Hogger has Rush.
Yeah. So currently in Monsanto's deck, there's still a bomb, and then 1 normal card, which I believe is a... Ooh, I don't even know what it is.
Portal, Overfiend, Brawl, or Clockwork Goblin. I have to imagine Clockwork Goblin looks really good.
Yeah.
Given that Dog can't replace those cards and it's just going to deal damage. The Untamed Beastmaster, Dozing Marksman, or Arathi Weaponsmith.
Flightmaster.
Spellbreaker, for some reason, is calling out to me here, just because it feels like it has a lot of utility to stop your opponent from having shenanigans.
Yeah. Also,
plus, he's wearing
weird.
a suit of pink armor. I mean, that's just awesome. Snip
Snap!
Deathwing! The Boom Ship or Beryllium Nullifier?
No, definitely not Boom Ship.
It's got to be the Nullifier.
Yeah.
Boom Ship is some amazing tempo, though.
Yeah, so Clockwork Goblin, Arathi Weaponsmith, Spellbreaker, Snip Snap, and Beryllium Nullifier.
Oh, he gets the Hogger! Except this Boombot's going to kill Hogger, isn't it?
Yeah. It is.
Oh.
Oh.
The one time it deals less than 3 damage.
This is where the potion vendor comes in, Dan.
Well,
if it's drawn.
If it was drawn, and also if Monsanto didn't have a way to just clear everything off.
Yeah.
Everything has Rush, so Monsanto should be able to pick apart this board pretty easily.
Yeah, but how many resources does he want to use? Well, he does have advantage in fatigue. And health advantage.
Dude, he has Alarmabot plus Beryllium Nullifier. Just think about the combo.
Whoa! He could even magnetize the Beryllium Nullifier onto the Alarmabot.
Yeah, that was my initial play.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Alarmabot into pulling Beryllium Nullifier. Do you get Alarmabot, magnetize Beryllium Nullifier onto it, and then make your Beryllium Nullifier disappear?
Yeah. Turns out you had a magic trick all along.
Yeah, for Dog to just kind of play stuff.
Well, yeah, Monsanto's actually low on the resources. He has Alarmabot, which is unfortunately a dead card. Clockwork Goblin doesn't do very much. Dog can gain a little bit of armor here, too, with the Ember Scale Drake.
Yeah, but probably just double 4-drops here.
What have we
Yeah, this is
here?
more stats, so it
Yeah.
makes sense.
What have we here?
Ooh, that's symmetry. And if Monsanto hero power, it's even more symmetry. Monsanto here has the Clear with the Mega Devastator and Shield Slam. Could also utilize his microbots here this turn. I think, I don't know if you want to use Shield Slam on this 5-4. If he plays Beryllium Nullifier hero power and clears it with a Shield Slam, he'd kind of be stuck with Omega Devastator as his only removal tool. And Dog's seen, at this point, 2 Shield Slams. So, outside the second Omega Devastator, Dog should know that Monsanto has to randomly generate more removal. Maybe that's a sign for him to finally move in.
Yeah. I mean, he's been trying to move in, it just hasn't been sticking.
Well, you know, you just don't want to move too fast in this relationship, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
Take it slow, get to know each other a little bit first.
I mean, you have time. It's Bomb Warrior.
Yeah. Deranged Doctor. That card has to have a special place in Dog's heart. It is one of the unsung heroes of his mage deck that won him the Masters Tour Las Vegas and a nice hefty change of $100,000.
Yeah, the Frozen tech, he called it. He didn't believe Frozen that it was going to be a good card. Even talking to him as Dog was like wrecking his way through Swiss rounds, he was saying, I don't know. I don't think my decks are teched well. Well, they were, because you won. But
it's true. I will let anybody trash talk my decks if it makes me win $100,000.
yeah.
You can call it the worst deck ever.
If someone's going to give me $100,000, they can trash talk any aspect of my life that they want to.
This
For as
would
long
be
as they
a
want
good
to.
for a master plan.
As long as they pay up, Dan.
Maybe. What if their way of taunting you was to use Hearthstone emotes and you have to listen to it hours upon hours every day for the rest of your life?
Then no. But if just like every time I saw them, they just trash talk me.
You just find a way to move away from them.
If they paid $100,000, I would let them do it.
Is that all it takes to shred your remains of dignity?
Yeah.
Right. So Dog has a clear here with 1 Omega Devastator himself. So Dog has the resource advantage, but he's behind on the fatigue.
Yep.
But fatigue won't matter if he's ahead in resources because you'll have
This
minions
would
on the
be a
board
good
dealing
time for a
damage.
master plan.
This looks pretty good. Opportunity for Dog to use the Omega Devastator and clear it. I think he also is concerned if he's going to get demolished by a big threat that he's not accounting for, like the Omega Assembly minions, the Alarmabot, for example, or the
Okay,
Elysiana.
then.
So I could see him using Militia Commander instead with other tools to clear. The reason why I like Omega Devastator, though, is it clears all 3 minions.
Yeah, it's
Love
clean.
that you thing.
He might be worried about what minions are left in the deck, though, for Monsanto. He hasn't seen all of them yet. So he might be thinking to himself, if I use Omega Devastator and he just drops a massive minion, what do I do? But at this point, I think Dog's going to realize he's behind in fatigue. I mean, I'm pretty sure... No, not yet.
Man.
One of the bombs in the... one of the cards in the deck is not a bomb, I don't believe. I think Monsanto has the first Clockwork Goblin in hand, the second one's still in the deck that he picked up.
Snip Snaps are just so insane.
Yeah. especially from Elysiana, because assuming at that point you have Dr. Mad Genius rolling,
then.
it fills up your whole turn. It's flexible. You can use it as removal. You can use it to build a big minion. Dog knows. Dog knows.
Yeah, Dog knows that this is a very difficult card to beat now because his opponent has it.
Ooh. So Clockwork Goblin can make up some of the health disadvantage, at least from Dog's perspective, but I think Safeguard is just like the overall better unit.
Yeah, I think you want just raw power and statistics.
This
Yeah.
would be a good time for a master plan.
I like Safeguard Man, and I think for Dog, when he sees, like, he knows that another Snip Snap might be coming down eventually. He does have to worry about whether or not Monsanto can snowball that advantage. He picks up the Clockwork Goblin instead. That's interesting.
He might just want something that he could play to magnetize Ziliax onto when to start to equalize the health, because that's something that he has access to that Monsanto does not, which is the Ziliax.
Yeah, that does make sense. I mean, he does have Dynamatic, but he probably might use that beforehand.
Yeah, and the Clockwork Goblin lets him use Hero Power as well, which may not make a difference, but if it's like Delivery Drone, and you absolutely want to use it to get that extra mech.
Somebody order a bomb.
Dog's slowly starting to realize that he's not going to last much longer.
No, he can't answer Snip Snap. Too much tempo.
Can't answer Snip Snap, knows now that Monsanto has another Clockwork Goblin because he saw it was created by Archivist Elysiana. Also knows that he has another Snip Snap somewhere in the deck.
Somebody order a bomb.
Unity. Precision.
Dog utilizing this to win back the board knows that he probably can't utilize it for life gain that much.
Yeah. Because if he tries to wait until he has lower life, he's taking the 6 damage that he's taking off the board anyway.
Right.
So this is effectively the same as gaining it. But Spellbreaker also a card that Monsanto was able to pick up, and another Clockwork Goblin.
Jeez. All right.
I think this one's all but over, Dan.
Seems like it. You know, a lot of bomb damage coming in, a lot of cards to win tempo.
Dog knows too.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing it out just because he knows it's a formality and there's like a percentage chance, but for the most part, not really much for Monsanto to do here.
Yeah.
Dog looks like he's taking a nap.
He's a blanket gamer.
Or maybe he just didn't get enough
This
sleep
would be
lately.
a good time for a master plan.
No time for sleep when there's video games to play, Dan.
And Monsanto really like taking his time to map things out here. Beryllium Nullifier seems fine as a way to magnetize, so does Spellbreaker, Clockwork Goblin.
Somebody order a bomb.
I think a lot of onlookers would look at this and assume that Monsanto is like doing this on purpose to try and like make Dog feel uncomfortable. The players can't see each other, so there's one.
Yeah.
And then two, it just shows you how seriously Monsanto's taking this match.
Yeah.
He wants to win.
Yeah.
And I think that's common for every player that's involved in this league, that they're competitive players and they just want to win really badly.
Another Snip Snap.
Yeah, that should be it. If I'm Dog, I'd probably consider conceding in this spot.
Yeah. He's got 2 bombs still left in the deck. So 2 out of 3 cards that he has in his deck currently are bombs. So he's effectively at 16 right now. He's also drawing his last card next turn, regardless of the actual bombs. Yep. Concede comes out from Dog. Monsanto takes game number 1. Dog looked like he had a pretty good early start, but I think Monsanto just had the Dr. Boom earlier and just an overall kind of better deck for the matchup.
Yep.
He had Omega Assemblies, which gave him enough resources to offset the amount of pressure that he took earlier. He was able to get the fatigue lead and be able to go toe-to-toe to the point where a Dog just ran out of stuff.
All right, well, that does it for game number 1. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to continue Dog versus Monsanto here at the Hearthstone Grandmasters.
Welcome back to Around the Fern. I'm joined by David Dog Cairo. You strike me as like the popular guy in high school who had, all the cheerleaders and people like did their homework for you, and you just kind of like walked into class and the teacher was like, "Hey, Dog, here's some extra credit." And you're like, "I didn't do anything," and they're like, "Yeah."
High school.
And then the guidance counselor was like, "You're going to college," and you're like, "Nah, I'm gonna play Hearthstone." High school sucked. Well, for me.
Yeah, I can see that.
Why did you? Why Dog?
Some people name it after their favorite animal. I named it after my favorite food. So.
You know what the most popular name for a dog is?
What is that?
Max. You know how many teeth an average adult dog has?
No, I don't.
Do you know how many teeth an average male has? Dude, didn't you go to medical school?
No, I did not go to medical school.
So you lied?
No,
You don't know a lot about dogs, do you?
I do not.
Is there an animal that you do know a lot about? Or a creature of some sort? Or medical dramas on TV?
No, I don't know much
What would
about
you say your
animals.
spirit animal is?
A dog.
Yeah, sorry, this fell too. Okay. Does your mom or dad talk to you about Hearthstone?
I remember one time I lost a tournament, and everyone in my chat was giving me crap about it, right? And then she said, "Why do they have to kick a dog when he's down?"
Can you teach me how to be relaxed and chill?
I can't teach you. I'm sorry.
Can you show me?
That was it.
Hi, I'm Monsanto. I came up with the username Monsanto. I was in high school. It's from the company Monsanto, the big evil corporation. One of my teachers hated that company so much that at the end of the year he told us, well, if you didn't learn anything from my class, it's okay, as long as you remember that you should hate Monsanto. And that was like such a big thing to hear from your teacher, and I just immediately changed all my usernames to Monsanto. My best Hearthstone Esports memory was in 2016 in Summer Prelims. I was facing Dude 7597. I was completely losing on board as Druid against the Zoo Warlock. I had played 5 spells during the game, then I jammed the Yogg-Saron on. It cleared his board, built myself a board, and the next turn I had double Savage Word for lethal. What makes me special as a player, I think, is I try everything. I try every possibility in decks. I try new things. And so when there's something that went under the radar, there's a big chance that I actually found it and I can bring that deck. Being in Grandmasters means a lot to me. Being able to just compete another full year of Hearthstone, that was a really big thing for me. I want to win the whole thing. That's my personal goal.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Hearthstone Grandmasters for the Americas. Coming up next, we have game number 2 between Monsanto and Dog. The Warrior Mirror is still underway, and after this, we only have non-Warrior Mirrors. Much to TJ's disappointment. Turns out Warrior vs. Warrior is his favorite matchup.
Not quite. Bomb Warrior versus Bomb Warrior, yes. Control Warrior versus Bomb Warrior.
What are we casting?
Sometimes it is. It's Bomb Warrior versus Bomb Warrior.
So it's your favorite matchup?
No, that's not my favorite matchup. I like Rogue versus Mage. That's my favorite matchup. In the current metagame, Rogue versus Mage is my favorite matchup.
Okay.
Favorite matchup of all time? Patron Warrior versus Midrange Druid.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
To watch and to cast, yes. Patron Warrior versus Midrange Druid. Very exciting.
Interesting.
Why?
I don't know. I was waiting for you to ask me what my favorite matchup was, but
it's okay.
We're moving past that.
I thought you were just going to tell me.
Well, I was only going to tell you if you were interested.
I am interested.
Well, you didn't ask.
Well, that's how a conversation works, Dan. I say something, you say something.
Well, usually a conversation works if the person knows, oh, what about you?
I don't like that. I like to cut out the middleman.
Well, that's why I didn't answer.
Dan, what was your favorite matchup of all time?
I don't know.
Okay. Think about it, get back to me. Well, let's get into it, Dan. Ooh, look at that hand.
Which one? The bomb one?
The Blastmaster Boom one. Ooh, look at that hand.
Great commentary. This is exactly what the fans tune in for me and you.
Whoa, look at that hand.
That's a card.
All right, Monsanto needs to draw Shield Slam. All right, good. Now Dog needs to draw Wrench Caliber and Blastmaster.
And Warpath.
And Warpath. So we're a ways off. That's okay.
But yeah, similar hands across the board here for both players. Monsanto doesn't have a 3, doesn't have a Clockwork Goblin to follow up this early 3-mana Augmented Elec play. So I kind of like holding on to it. Ooh, Dog does have the 3-mana play with the Clockwork Goblin. You can also play the Augmented Elec here, but would be worried about the coin Militia Commander. Clockwork Goblin sets up the Snip Snap on 4, which is a powerful option, but you do open yourself up to that Wrench Caliber by doing that.
I wonder who's favored in this matchup now, with the changes made to the decks.
Hard to say.
It's like too weird for me to call because the EMP Operative just kind of...
It would theoretically make it very swingy on Monsanto's side, right? Because
yeah,
you spend time magnetizing it, but then you think, what is he gonna really like EMP Operative down? Like a Beryllium Nullifier Discover, a Broom Reaver? It's like, it doesn't happen guaranteed.
I mean, I guess it's like a good one-to-one answer for a Dynamatic on curve.
Yeah, that's fair.
Wow, there they are in all their glory. The EMP Operative.
Well, Monsanto didn't really have a good proactive play because he was still waiting for what Dog can do. If he plays this Augmented Elec, gets wrecked by the Dynamatic. He could set up the French Caliber, but Dog does play Weapons Project and the Harrison Jones. He doesn't have confirmation that Dog took it out of his deck, though. Because the tertiary deck would be the case, but I'd be very surprised if that was the choice here.
Yeah, the tertiary deck does add Augmented Elec, which is decent for the matchup, but it also adds Omega Devastator, but also adds Big Game Hunter Brawl and Super Collider, which are bad for the matchup.
Right. This is main mage anti-mage deck.
Yeah. Interesting thing about Dog's secondary deck, though, which he is playing, is the Geppetto Joybuzz Barista Lynchian Youthful Brewmaster interaction. He can go infinite.
Yes, that's true.
He has to get the right cards from Geppetto. He has to get either the Brewmaster or the Barista
This
in order to
update
go infinite.
is mandatory.
Geppetto draws 2 minions from your deck and makes them cost 1 and boosts their stats to 1/1. But if you were to pick up Youthful Brewmaster or Barista Lynchian, you could play Archivist Elysiana plus one of those 2 cards in a turn to double dip into the Archivist Elysiana.
And then goes to the turn timer.
And then go to the turn timer, or alternatively, just to kind of reset. Say, I didn't get a good first Archivist Elysiana, I need a better one in order to contest this match. So I'm going to try again.
Monsanto ends up going for the EMP operative. Dog ends up going for it. Monsanto had used his operative already, so Dog not stacking onto 1 threat makes it so that the second operative can't really be super effective here.
Yeah, also he's still safe from Warpath. It can only be used 3 times, so there's not really a downside to going for the split snip snap and a ton of upside.
Split splat.
Yeah. Snip snap. Split splat. Pit pat.
Skit scat.
Tip tap.
Rip rat. Mip map.
Lip lap.
Dip dab.
Zip zap.
Crip crap.
Dan said a bad word.
Or insulted the most popular Hearthstone streamer out there.
And also, you just gave Aaron Bull a new idea for a parody song.
Man, Monsanto really taking his time with all of his turns here, roping it out, thinking it over, and in the end, his main game plan is to develop tempo. His Clockwork Goblin coin into Red Caliber play was set up with Blastmaster Boom on 7. Pretty straightforward. I like that because I think that prior to this, he didn't really have a good way to set up the Blastmaster Boom, but because he held into the coin early on and didn't utilize it for his double 3, has the opportunity to play the Blastmaster and win the tempo. Dog doesn't have enough bombs shoveled into Monsanto's deck. I believe he has no bombs, in fact. So it's not even necessarily a question of whether or not he could. He just doesn't have anything.
Yep.
So he's going to draw cards instead. Also, Warpath used prior to the Blastmaster Boom. Which means one thing and one thing only. I'm gonna blow this place sky high. It's my best Dr. Boom voice.
Wow, Dan. Just beautiful. Do more, do more.
Who is that handsome devil?
More.
I don't know anything like this. It says. When Dr. Boom speaks, you know, when you guys are done cringing from that terrible impression, when Dr. Boom speaks, I always imagine that he has the lowercase, uppercase alternative thing whenever he says anything. When people use that to sarcastically mock the saying. See?
Wait, was that you? They gave him the game? No.
I know. It's so accurate, but yeah. No brawl being used in this position. And it looks like Dog's going to save that. I think he's still on the 1 copy of Brawl.
Yeah.
So he needs to make sure it's good.
But also, like, is it going to get better than that? I don't know. I guess so.
It rarely does. Oh my gosh. It really does get better than that. Since you're able to eliminate all the boom bots and a lot of times Dr. Boom. And he even had minions on his own side.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps the caveat to that is he had an Acolyte Pain that he probably wanted to get the draw off of. And if he's going to trade a minion in anyways, he might as well trade for the other minion. And then that just leaves Boom plus 2 boom bots. So he's like, maybe I don't brawl that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily the case. It's just a possibility. Monsanto picks up the Omega Devastator. That doesn't really do much here. He's going to look for his Zilliax or Militia Commanders. He hasn't drawn any of them. Next turn, he can go for Snip Snap ×3 off the 9 mana play, but instead he chooses to go for it this turn. Okay. I mean, it's his best development, right? Adding 2 Snip Snaps on the board.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't go for Snip Snap this turn, then his play would be pretty much nothing. I guess he does have Militia Commanders, so he could have done that. But this is quite a powerful play.
It is very good. And then Dog doesn't really have the luxury of playing like all these insane cards like Geppetto. He has the turn before Mega Devastators. He can start putting in the bombs, though. He's got Wrench Caliber and Clockwork Goblins and Blastmaster Boom. So over the course of a few turns, you can definitely go for this. Okay, only 1 damage.
Nice. Ooh, second Warpath drawn. Not the best when you're trying to be the proactive player.
Yeah, this is an interesting turn and opportunity for Monsanto to go for like EMP Operative for tempo and like Militia Commander. Load up the board and then Omega Assembly afterwards. Leverage your 10 mana crystals on your Omega cards. It's kind of what his hand is telling him to do as well. And I think because Dog has Brawl and like if he's able to control how much damage he takes, Dog's just gonna win on the resources. He's got 2 Omega Assemblies, he's got Blastmaster Boom and all this other stuff. Neither player is Dr. Boom Mad Genius. And part of what makes Dr. Boom Mad Genius insane is the fact that he can make big comebacks. Without everything having Rush, Monsanto's gonna be stuck in a tough spot.
Yep. It's kind of the matchup becomes so much more like interesting and engaging when neither player has Dr. Boom Mad Genius. Because like you're on a knife's edge so much more often. Another Snip Snap.
I mean, it's only fair, right? Monsanto got his free Snip Snaps. Now Dog gets his Slip Slaps.
See if triple Zip Zap comes down here this turn, but looks like Down-O-Matic is the play.
I think he can shuffle another bomb in here. Only 2 bombs, but still might be good enough for the Blastmaster Boom.
Could even wait longer with Wrench Caliber if he so desires.
Why would he want to hold on to a Wrench Caliber, you think?
I don't know.
Okay. So you're saying that he should, or you think that it's just a possibility? That he
Well, it's just a possibility. Like Blastmaster Boom with 2 bombs. If the board, like on an empty board or on a board state where you can fight back, I would rather take a Dr. Boom Mad Genius for 2 bombs now than a Dr. Boom Mad Genius for 3 bombs later. But it's all dependent on the board state.
You mean Blastmaster Boom, right?
Yes. Sorry.
Just for clarification.
My mind is just going nuts.
You're thinking about too many alliteration jokes here with Snip Snap. I think partially the advantage of setting up a Wrench Caliber ahead of time is that you get to use the weapon swings to also control the state of the board, and you get 2 bombs from it. So I'm usually a big fan of setting up the Wrench Caliber before you play Dr. Boom. However, I feel like you said, Blastmaster Boom, just as a 2 boom bot, is also really good still. People get very obsessed with this idea of like maximizing their value, and they sometimes like miss their window of opportunity.
Yeah.
I'm also starting to realize Barista Lynchin can also work really well with Blastmaster Boom if he had picked that card up through Geppetto Joybuzz. That's also pretty insane to me.
Yeah, there's a lot of very high-power Battlecry cards. We even saw it in the series between Purple and Rays with Omega Devastator.
I kind of just want to like put Geppetto and Barista
in every deck
now, just to see how it works. And I think like Frozen and Dog may have cracked the code of like how to use your second and tertiary deck to like go over the top greed without having to put in a bunch of clunky cards.
Yeah.
Like the thing about makes Geppetto and Barista great is that they're versatile and they're relatively cheap compared to like the Barista is at least relative to some of these other late game options which are very heavy-handed. Like if you play Omega Devastator, not Omega, if you play like extra Omega Sunblades and Omega Devastators, you have to wait till at least turn 10, and even then you get like all this mana that you have to spend. That's not guaranteed. So I personally like that. The more I look at it, Monsanto used both of his EMP operatives. Trying to find some way back to this game here. He has the damage advantage. How can he leverage that?
Yeah, but it's going to swing back really quickly. Ooh. He could Spellbreaker, Militia Commander over the Silence, Snip Snap, and then push 3 to the face.
I definitely like...
That's it.
I definitely like playing the Militia Commander here. Because it does line up really well with the stats of the 1/1s. What I don't like is that Wrench Caliber is threatening everything he plays. So it looks like Monsanto's taking the passive line here of not developing more onto the board. Geppetto Joybuzz. So this is an opportunity where I think Dog was exploring Blastmaster Boom, but he goes for Geppetto Joybuzz. Curious what that means. Well, he also doesn't have the board space for Blastmaster Boom, so that also makes sense.
I'll make you a real toy.
Ooh, not the best pickups from Geppetto.
I mean, 1 mana Dynamatic is still very impactful. The
Yeah.
Harrison Jones, though, less
just,
important.
It's just the 1/1 stats that's not great. Like, yes, 1 mana 1/1 that deals 5 damage, split among non-mech targets, fantastic. But in like, in a nutshell, but in the matchup, usually you want tempo, and while yes, part of Dynamatic's tempo gain is the Battlecry damage, the other part is the 3/4 body that's difficult to deal with. Whereas in 1/1 you can just ignore. Same with Harrison. Many times in this matchup, Harrison just becomes a 5 mana 5/4 that you just plop on the board and use it as a body to contest things. This case, not an option.
I wonder.
Bomb count's pretty even.
I must choose.
Defend the gates!
With Dog having 3 bombs in his deck.
Oh, gosh.
Ooh, this is getting close.
All right.
Still 2 bombs left in Dog's deck.
Blastmaster Boom time. 4 bombs in Monsanto's deck. Dog's victory march has finally begun. Harrison Jones being picked up here. This is bad news for Monsanto. He could Warpath and then clean it with Omega Devastator, but he has to hope that he doesn't take too much damage from all of these boom bots.
Yeah.
Face.
Average damage is roughly 15.
Oh. Oh. Whoa. Ah. Wow.
19 damage. Wow.
Save the best for last.
That was amazing. On average, did more than 3 damage each.
Yeah, that's insane. And now Monsanto, all of a sudden, this life lead is dwindled, and he has 4 bombs in his deck. Dog only has 2. Dog picks up Dr. Man Genius.
Yeah.
Does he?
If he picks up the zap, he can clear the board. I don't think he wants to hero power before it.
No, I was thinking maybe you just like want to keep playing for tempo, but
Do you want to clear everything here? Or just I guess you could just use the delivery drone and shield slam this 4/5. I don't think you have to remove everything. It is annoying though because your opponent's at 18. You don't want your opponent to gain too much life. Monsanto has already played Snip Snap. But if he picked up another magnetic ability, that Vicious Grab Hound could be super punishing.
yeah, he picks up Ziliax.
It's tough. It's pretty close. Ooh, Hecklebot.
Ooh.
Oh, I love that fuse thing.
Clockwork Goblin again.
Well, I mean,
It's pretty much straightforward here for Monsanto.
yeah, Dog's starting to run out of life here. Has 2 bombs in the deck. Clockwork Goblin would make that 3. He has not picked up Archivist Elysiana yet, which means that he can't use it to offset some of the bomb damage just yet.
This story deserves a new ending.
Oh, man. So Monsanto is thinking that he needs to just get tempo tools. Otherwise, he loses this game. New secret keeper art. Oh, cheaty ankle biter. A bunch of small stuff. I think he had the Akali though. I think execute here still seems like a very reasonable pick, given that you can push the agenda. But I wonder if Improve Morale is like the best chance for him to get something nice and meaningful. So he picked up anything that was able to help generate damage or get rush. Akali, Beryllium Nullifier, Woodcutter's Axe,
GD Ankle Biter,
Ankle Biter,
and the Improved Morale.
This would
So
be a good time
Dog
for
here
a
does
master
not.
plan.
I guess he does have a good way to deal with the Archivist Elysiana, just with the Dynamatic plus with the Microbots. For Dog now, it's just about surviving, because he has a huge fatigue advantage now. Does still have 2 bombs in the deck. Has to be a little careful for that. But that's the maximum. The 3 is the maximum from Monsanto's perspective with the Clockwork Goblin in hand. So he's got to find a way to deal that 2 damage and hope that Dog doesn't find some armor gain somewhere.
Security Rover, wow. Exactly what the doctor ordered.
Yep. And I think Monsanto is going to get squeezed out of this game very quickly.
Yeah, good effort by Monsanto, but this pulls another Akali. Quite possibly the fastest turn Monsanto's taken yet. Pulls out a 10-10 Rhino. But this should be easy cruise control for Dog at this point. Doesn't really have to do too much. Just to clear out the board. Make sure to not overextend anything. He even has Brawl if he falls too far behind on tempo.
This would be a good time for a master plan.
He could, for example, play Spring Rocket and then Hero Power and then see what he wants to do afterwards. I think what he wants to do is play Delivery Drone, but the more expensive you play of a minion, the less flexibility you have. Fortunately for Dog, picks up Clockwork Goblin anyways.
Yep. And just more damage pile on, and this 10-10 Akali not really going to do much. It's answered just on the board if that's all he plays. I can't imagine Monsanto going to stay in this game much longer. Especially after seeing that blast shield, he knows that now his bomb counts at even the hope for 2 damage from improved morale is not going to be enough.
I think it's a really good lackey. Okay, discover spell is that's probably the best one in this position. Oh gosh, never mind. Very awkward. Shield slam. The best card here for sure.
So his out was essentially both improved morales hitting ethereal lackeys that gave mortal strikes. And then mortal striking the face twice once you're below that 12 health threshold, and then hoping that dog draws bombs.
Yeah, another possibility was getting like heavy metal.
He's not gonna have armor for much longer though.
Yeah, but could have played it right there. Could have gotten pretty decent 6-mana minion. Or maybe he finds a way to accumulate armor and summon Mech-Cthulhu.
Yeah.
It looks like Dog's still in full control.
This would
From
be
his
a good
perspective,
time
he
for
already
a
narrowed down a
master
couple of the
plan.
cards. He's seen improved morale. He's seen Akali the Rhino.
with me, friend.
Bouncing back security rover. Man, Dog is just super far ahead.
Yep, no need for him to push damage. Only need for him right now is to keep the board as clear as possible. Woodcutter's axe.
Too bad everything's made out of metal.
Yep.
I mean, that's a sharp axe, but it ain't dealing 24. Dog hasn't even reached the first wave of fatigue yet, and he's this far ahead.
Yep.
So you mentioned that this matchup doesn't often go to fatigue, and it still looks like it won't.
He will have to find time to play Lysiana, but
I don't
on
think
top
he
of
even
that
needs
stuff.
No, I don't think he needs to. I think he's all right without it. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Yeah, Spring Rocket. Oh, that's cute. Spring Rocket at 2/5. So you can trade in the 2 damage. Interesting. Okay. Very cute play.
Well, this does keep the most damage on board, keeps a taunt on board to protect from the Woodcutter's axe.
Does Woodcutter's Axe buff your mech minions that you get from Dr. Boom at Genius in the Rush? I never saw that interaction before.
No, me neither. I don't know.
I wonder.
I mean, some mechs it would, right? Like Ziliax.
Well, yes, but I don't think all of them. I think it doesn't check for the status of the minion, it checks for the minion itself. Like, would Warsong Commander give +1 attack to something that has the spell charge on it?
Wow. I think so.
Story deserves a new ending.
I don't know.
All right, Monsanto is going to finally concede here. Looks like the series is tied 1 game apiece.
Woo!
And after 3 hours, we've played 2.5 games of Warrior Mirrors.
Yeah. Not matches.
Well, three and a half, actually. Cause
Oh yeah, 3.5 games of Warrior Mirrors.
whew, quite a marathon of a day, TJ.
Yeah, this is real fun, Dan.
At least try to hide it a little.
Not
TJ.
facetiously at all.
All right, well, going into the last game here, I don't imagine much is going to change. I think it's because, Monsanto, he clearly doesn't have a game plan against Dog's deck. Dog's deck beats him in fatigue and equalizes on the bomb count really very easily.
He has to tempo and kind of out-pressure him because he has EMP Operative and Karen Bloodhoof. So basically that's his option. He loses on resources, loses on even draw because Geppetto loses in on the ultimate fatigue battle. So kind of has to pressure because that's just what his deck does better. And wasn't able to get it going there, but we'll see if he can do that in Game 3.
All right, game 3 is about to begin. I'm looking to see if maybe Monsanto can take that more proactive approach. I do think that him drawing the early EMP operatives forced him to like take that early aggressive stance, and he just couldn't really back it up. He didn't have substance. Also, he didn't have Dr. Boom Mad Genius, and he ended up replacing his entire deck based off of that.
Yeah. And I like the longer you stall in that situation, the worse position you're going to dig yourself into. Because then at a certain point, you won't even have the option of trying to win back the game with an Arcanist Elysiana. So I like the recognition, like, I can't wait any longer. I just have to use Arcanist Elysiana, one, as a way to put a threat on the board at 7/7, and two, to try and find some miracle cards that are going to buy me out of the situation where I'm almost at 100% a loss.
All right, Monsanto starting off the 1-mana minions, the double Town Criers, which are very important. In fact, if I'm Monsanto, actually, he has 2 Militia Commanders and the Celiacs already. Never mind.
Yeah.
That's really annoying.
That is very annoying. And Acolyte of Pain. Dog drawn through here. A decent early hand. He's got a couple ways to fight back to the board. He's got Weapons Project to deal with the Roach Caliber. Should have come out. Snip Snap to be proactive if he wants it, but opted for Shield Block there over the 2/3 single copy of the Chip Chap.
What
Just
now?
similar position as last game for Monsanto. Wants to be proactive, but has nothing to be proactive with.
It's because he put reactive cards in his deck. Put a Mega Devastator #2, put an EMP operative, or sorry, he put 2 EMP operatives. He also has the Kieran Bloodhoof and the Augmented Elec, but Augmented Elec isn't really in the hand, obviously, and it's more of a combo-centric card because otherwise it's a 3-mana 3/4.
Yep.
So the only proactive card that Monsanto took into this matchup was Kieran Bloodhoof.
Yep.
Also, I know Dynamatic isn't considered to be the best card against Warrior, but I do think that sometimes it's a pretty important card to have.
Yeah, and he took it out.
Because it's the idea that your Militia Commander and your Harrison Jones and all these other cards that are around that mid, like the Kieran Bloodhoof, could get challenged by it. But now without it, Dog doesn't have to worry about it.
Yeah, Dog can just play Militia Commander here, and that's one less out that he has.
Right, he could,
Huh?
but he won't.
If he plays Militia Commander there, Monsanto enters with the Militia Commander. Dog gets to play Dynamatic and get full value from it, clearing the board and having a 3/4 come down.
Right. I'm trying to see if I can formulate an argument against that.
I wonder.
What if he plays Dynamatic? Oh, sorry, he doesn't have Dynamatic.
He doesn't have
What if he
Dynamatic.
plays Wrench Caliber?
Then you Weapons Project.
What if he plays...
You could even Harrison Jones. You have multiple options.
What if he plays Acolyte of Pain?
I wonder.
Okay, exactly Acolyte of Pain.
Wow, yeah. Good read by Dog.
I don't think so. I don't think you're that worried about Acolyte of Pain. It's a 1-up. I think it's more likely that in Militia Commanders, then you get use out of your Dynamatic. Because even if you don't play Militia Commander, he can still play Acolyte of Pain.
Speak to me.
And now you're 1 mana off from doing the most efficient things. I don't know. Maybe we'll ask him about it if he wins. Ask him about a very specific scenario on turn 4 of his game.
Sure.
Nah, I don't want to. I want to ask him some other things.
Well, now he does it.
Like how he gets his hair to swoosh exactly that way to the right side of his head. Does he wake up like that? Does he turn on a blow dryer and just like do like one quick pass over his face, like?
It's probably him just sleeping on that side of the pillow or the bed.
Is it like a custom comb that he had made for himself that has broken teeth in places where he exactly wants his hair to part?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I understood the depths and could fathom the ridiculous contours and juxtapositions of Dog's hair follicles, but I do not know enough information about this, TJ.
Me neither. That's why I'm trying to figure it out.
Augmented Elec and Clockwork Goblin helps shuffle the bombs in. It also opens up the possibility that he picks up Dr. Boom to summon the Boom Bots the following turn off the top of the deck.
Yep.
Monsanto picks up the Omega Devastator here. Wrench Caliber is a pretty decent option to pick apart the board. I think his biggest concern, obviously, is the Augmented Elec that's on the board already. I'm trying to see from Monsanto's perspective, like, what's the best choice of removal. I think it's the Wrench Caliber. I also think there's a case for Militia Commander number 2, but it does seem to be slightly overkill. And you know that if Dog has cards in his deck that you might want to snipe, like you know, Dynamax and whatnot, Militia Commander might be useful there as well.
Defend the gates!
Gonna leave the Clockwork Goblin alone and push damage to the face. This makes Dynamatic more awkward. Because if he trades, he leaves exactly 5 health, or less than 5 health on the board. Whereas if he does this, if Dog were to make a trade and want a Dynamatic, then there'd be 6 health on board. Also, pushes the first. I feel like Bomb Warrior decks still aren't refined.
I think that the second and tertiary decks in Specialists in general could still use a little bit of extra work, but I also think that the meta this season has been a lot more fluid than people give it credit for. Obviously, Mage, Rogue, and Warrior are like the 3 top classes, but I think there's a lot of game around that. It's just that in Specialists you only get to bring 1 deck, so you should pick one of those 3 in a from the top down level, and then if you want to beat them, you can pick other classes. So from my perspective, I agree, but I also like want to add a caveat that I feel like part of the reason why things look unrefined is because they're trying to specifically beat a strategy, and it looks kind of silly when it doesn't line up, right?
Yeah.
Like, why would Monsanto play a double EMP operatives with Kieran Bloodhoof and all these other things? He's specifically trying to make sure that he doesn't get cheesed by, like, the war gear stuff, because his opponent can't really beat. His opponent just like plays a Copper Tail Imposter and magnetizes onto it.
What now?
Snip Snap on 8 mana. Dog was holding 8 cards. If you played Geppetto Joybuzz, he would overdraw. And we all know what happens when you set yourself up for an overdraw by your own means. You end up burning your best card. Dog's next draw is Dr. Boom Mad Genius.
Monsanto has done that a couple times.
Yeah, it's still good.
Well, I mean, he's done that, done the overdraw your opponent of their important card a couple times.
Yeah, but that'd be Dog doing it to himself.
Yeah.
It's like yesterday, or was it 2 days ago? Bloody Fiend did it to himself as well.
Yep. Over to his Archmage Antonitis. Geppetto Buzzkill about to come down here.
Yeah, you could actually play the card that he gets as well.
Well, it depends. I guess he already has Archivist Elysiana.
Okay. Town Crier pulls Militia Commander? It does.
It does, yeah. He's only played 1. So this is awkward. You don't want to Bristol Lynchin, and you don't want to overdraw Dr. Boom.
It's okay. Just pass. You're not going to overdraw
You're
Dr.
not going to overdraw Dr. Boom.
It
No
never
way.
1 out of 13 times.
Because I really don't want to Bristol Lynchin
13
here.
times. 1 out of 13 times. All right. Draws his militia commander.
I don't like that. Because now he's had an increased chance to overdraw Dr. Boom Mad Genius.
He's fine.
And Blastmaster Boom.
It's fine. He's not going to burn any boom. He is going to burn his second town crier. No, he doesn't even have a second town crier. There you go.
Ah!
His only brawl.
He's fine.
He is fine. Dog doesn't really have much going on either. This matchup has slowed down dramatically.
Yeah.
Neither player really able to get any strong footing in this early game. It's somewhat turned into a control warrior mirror because neither player has their booms. Either booms.
And not many bombs in the deck either. Monsanto has 2 bombs in his deck. Dog has 1 bomb in his deck. Do you play with game sounds and music on?
I started to not do that at all for a while. I actually played like that without sound for like a couple years.
Speak to me.
And then I started playing with sound again, and it just like reminded me why I should do that more, because it felt like it was a really good gameplay experience when they, because you know, there's a lot of attention detail that goes into like all the small voice stuff or the animations.
Yeah.
It makes the game feel a lot more satisfying. Like for example, I didn't realize how much I missed the sound of Mountain Giant hitting face until it was taken away from you. TJ, you don't know what you have until it's gone.
The big noise?
The big noise.
I would always get confused because I oftentimes watch like Hearthstone streams at the same time that I play Hearthstone. And a lot of streamers play with game sounds on, so I would hear game sound on my own board and then hear game sound on the streamer's board, and I would have a moment of panic, confusion, sometimes elation.
I often mute my own game when I watch someone else's stream at the same time.
Yeah.
Then I forget that I'm playing, and then I lose.
You rope out and lose. I do that all the time.
Yeah. Because I work for Twitch, I can justify my work. Oh yeah, I'm watching streams, make sure to scout, make sure everything's okay. But if I'm playing games on the job, oh, I can't make many excuses there.
What if you were to play games but stream on Twitch and then watch your own stream? Dan, I think I found a workaround.
Well, then I'd be a millionaire.
This update is mandatory.
EMP operative just to come down to a 3/3 minion. Not really much coming out here from Monsanto. Again, very slow turns, very drawn out. This is quite the marathon.
And we can tell that Dog does have that fatigue advantage.
Yes. Fatigue is going to be 100% in Dog's favor because he has the Elysiana ×2. Because both players are tied, it'll be health differentials, which incidentally is also a tie right now.
If the turn timer were to hit right now, I don't know what would happen. A regame.
One could hope. One could hope.
Has science gone too far?
Yes. Yes, very much so. We had an entire expansion dedicated to science. And I think we can all agree. It went too far. Although I do think the Boomsday intro stuff was pretty fun.
Yep.
The music. And also Dave Kosak. You know, I think Hadija did a good job with the introduction of the Saviors of Uldoom, but man, I also have grown to love Dave Kosak. He's a national treasure. Mega Assembly pulls the 3 mechs, Harvest Golem, Safeguard, and the Boom Reaver. Monsanto's still holding on to the coin, saving that investment for later on. Maybe pass that coin to his grandchildren. It's an inheritance.
It's going to be the best coin ever.
Yeah. It's a golden coin.
Just imagine the possibilities of this coin.
You could have Archivist Elysiana coin used for Brewmaster.
If you had it.
Unironically, yeah.
You could safeguard coin EMP operative your safeguard.
Yes, you also could coin hit the gear in the bottom right and click concede. For following your logic patterns. I like this Beryllium Nullifier to make it difficult for Monsanto. This should force out a Omega Devastator in this position because he doesn't want to take that much damage. And now we're getting to the point where both players should be drawing their bombs relatively soon.
Yep.
Monsanto picks up the Harrison Jones.
That belongs in a museum.
And the EMP operative can also deal with the 4-8.
This update is
Still no Dr. Boom Mad Genius picked up for either player or Blastmaster Boom picked up for either player. Which at this point is kind of insane. Both players have 2 bombs in their deck, so it is in the bottom 10. Both booms. All 4 booms in the bottom 10 for both players. Kind of crazy. And when that happens, it's kind of naturally going to be a slower game. Because usually when neither player has Dr. Boom Mad Genius, it's a faster game. But then if you don't have Blastmaster Boom to close, then it slows down again. And now both players are trying to dump resources to make hand space for the Dr. Booms when they draw them. You're kind of in this stalemate where they're both just kind of removing back and forth. Though the mechs don't have rush, so either player is more and more likely to stick a minion on the board. Is that a boom? It is.
It's a Blastmaster Boom.
3 bombs in Dog's decks. That is a fully loaded.
It's cocked and ready to go.
Can you do the impression for me again, Dan?
What does he say? He says,
I'm gonna blow this place sky high.
Yeah, nice one, DJ. Good job.
That wasn't an impression. I was just telling you what it is.
It was okay. You need a little work on your intonation.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. Now it's your turn. What does he say?
I don't remember. What you said it perfect. What was it again? You said it. It was. I'm going. Wait. One more time. Say it, TJ.
I'm gonna blow this place sky high.
Yeah. Good. See, I can't do it better than you, man. You did it so well. Nicely done.
What now?
I was wrong. He says, let's blow this place sky high.
Well, he's gonna do exactly that. 6 boom bots, bomb being drawn here from Dog. Another bomb being drawn.
Uh-oh.
Right after Blastmaster Boom was played as well.
Yeah, there's a Wrench Caliber equip. But he has
both booms in the bottom 5 here for Dog.
Yeah, he does have Vicious Scrap Hound Ziliax to try and gain back some life.
Yeah.
Let's see. But no great way to minimize bomb damage. The Goblin Bomb on the board actually helps a lot, because if that absorbs a bomb, then...
Right. It might even be able to convert that damage back into Monsanto's, like using the Reflector.
Precision.
Uses the Vicious Scrap Hound Ziliax combo.
I am rubber, you are glue. Any bomb you
Any
blast
bomb
at me,
damage, yeah,
blast at you.
goes back to you. I knew those 3rd grade insults would come back at one point to help me in my casting career.
Moment of truth!
Everything is dead.
Oh!
Maximum damage.
Boombots have been on point. Oh, Monsanto picks up Mad Genius. And Monsanto now has an incredible pressure lead now.
Right.
And all these resources that Dog had been accruing and that Barista Lynchen held onto for Archivist Elysiana.
Just has no boom.
Yep. Oh, and he pulls the Augmented Elec, which means he gets the second bomb shuffled in. Dog now has 3 bombs in his deck, plus the potential for more. Oh.
Bomb might, he just might die to bombs.
Oh.
Okay, Youthful Brewmaster, Omega Devastator.
But he is quickly running out of life and may have to play Archivist Elysiana sooner rather than later. But in order to play Archivist Elysiana, he needs to have Temple on the board or he will die. And
Dog has both of his Dr. Boom cards in his bottom 3.
Yep.
Oh, man. It doesn't get much unluckier than that. Now Monsanto has an opportunity to set up a lethal opportunity. There's two bombs.
He could make that 3 bombs.
Yeah, you could play the Clockwork Goblin Ziliax. You could play Omega Devastator Ziliax.
He go double Omega Devastator, coin Clockwork Goblin if he wants maximum pressure. He saw the Brawl gone. The Warpath gone. There's only 1 copy.
What
I don't think there's anything punishing him from just going huge onto the board here. I would go double Omega Devastator Clockwork Goblin. Or this is pressure too.
I think in his mind, if he goes for the Clockwork Goblin, he gives Dog this weird chance to like out him for bomb damage. Hey, Dr. Boom Mad Genius comes in the hand.
I think he needs to find Omega Devastator here.
Oh.
Nailed it.
And he's ready to use his EMP operatives. Oh, but he's another Omega Devastator. I think you split this, right?
Probably.
You know that he has another Mega Devastator. Yeah. Just a good job by Dog.
But Dog has... Bog. Has 2 bombs left in his deck with 4 cards. Could have 3 bombs left in his deck with 5 cards. Monsanto has actually a pretty decent chance of a lethal opportunity here. Does want to play somewhat defensively, just for the fact that he's at 22 and he's got 3 bombs left in his deck. I guess it's not really too big of a deal. I don't see a great way out of this for Dog, because it's going to be hard for him to have a turn where he just can play Archivist Elysiana and not die on the backswing. He has to draw like exactly the last 2 cards left in his deck before the bombs, and then stabilize next turn with Dr. Boom, and then play Archivist Elysiana to get rid of the last few. This makes it awkward.
It does make it very awkward.
Bomb?
Yeah, oh man, Dog could just be dead right here. He isn't, but does it feel like he effectively is dead?
So let's say he picks up Blast Shield from the Dr. Mad Genius. He'll go up to 17.
Nope. They can clear off one of these minions. And Monsanto has a 2 out of 3 chance to win if he shuffles a bomb into Dog.
Yep.
Oh, just kidding. He has 10 life, not 9. I thought the Karen plus the bomb would kill him.
So it's a 1 out of 3 chance. You'd have to draw bombs in 2 bombs in a row.
Say the magic word.
Oh, the coin.
Finally, after 20 turns.
1 bomb. Now 50-50.
I'm almost out of cards. Let's blow this place.
Oh my goodness, and you can get another one with Barista Lynchen. Hold on, TJ.
Ooh. He didn't kill the Cairn.
Oh, he's dead.
He is dead.
Well, he could even kill the Cairn because the Bane would have been come back and survived. So the safeguard, the coin safeguard play, TJ.
In a perfect scenario, he could have killed the Cairn and the
Wow.
but unfortunately for Dog, not able to withstand the pressure of Monsanto's deck. Monsanto takes the victory.
Yeah, he does.
Ties up Dog in the standings, but I double checked on the math. This puts Monsanto at 47 or 57 tiebreaker points for the second tiebreaker. Dog's at 63. The maximum amount of tiebreaker points that Monsanto can earn for the remainder of the day is 4. That's not even counting how many Dog could still earn. If he had beaten both of the players that left to play in Division B twice, and both of those players that he defeated win, he would gain 4 tiebreaker points, which wouldn't even catch Dog. So Dog still has that first seed, still locked up, but Monsanto can feel proud of himself that he was tied in record, at least, at the end of the day.
All right, let's go ahead and talk to Monsanto and chat with him for a little bit. Monsanto, you there?
Yeah, what's up?
All right, so you know, how much did the match mean to you to win today versus Dog?
I mean, it was a money match, right? It was just like, I know that it doesn't impact the standings at all, so it's for the $500.
Gotcha. Because it seemed like Dog was kind of keeping it a little bit looser, and it felt like you know, you were locked in, and you know, I'm not saying that Dog didn't try his best. It was just more like the attitude seemed to be reflected by him being a lot more casual about it compared to being more serious.
Still tried to win, and I'm not that familiar with the matchup. It's my first time bringing bomb wares. I was trying to make sure not mess up every turn.
Yeah, it's the pride. You don't want to misplay and look silly on camera whenever you're broadcasting. So, you know, going into the playoffs, it's you, it's also Purple, and it's Dog. And then on the other side, of course, we have Frozen, Eddie, and PNC. Any thoughts about the 6 players going into playoffs here?
I don't know. They're good players. I think for the most part, it reflects whoever played in prep best. Of course, there might be some outliers, some people that didn't qualify that deserved it, but I mean, that's Hearthstone.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So you brought the double EMP operative in your tertiary deck and cut the Dynamatics. Was this decision specifically for like Warrior Mirrors, or did you think that there may be like mech paladins thrown in there or mech hunters? What was the thought process behind that?
I mean, there are 2 reasons. First, first of all, the lineup I brought is pretty much Galen's lineup from Vegas. So thanks, Galen, for having made that lineup a while ago. And I changed the deck. He had that deck for Mech Hunter or mech decks in general, and I still wanted to have something in case. I don't know. I don't think Saiyan or Dog were likely to bring mech decks, but it's possible. So I wanted to have something just in case. And it's still fine in the Warrior Mirror, especially. I felt like there was a pretty good chance that someone brought Warrior and they tried to side deck the War Gear and Coppertail Imposter. Mm-hmm. So that would have been like the perfect counter for that deck.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, you did get a lot of tempo out of it, even in the match you played today. The one that stood out to me was the Clockwork Goblin Ziliax, being able to solidify board position against that. So I like the choice. Very interesting.
Gotcha. Cool. Well, and Monsanto, we don't want to take too much of your time. Thanks so much for joining us. Congrats on the victory, and we'll see you at playoffs next week.
Thank you. See ya.
All right. I gotta cut the interviews a little short. We're running a little bit over time on the.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit.
But
match number 2 is done.